One of the most pervasive political risks the world faces at the moment is the energy transition. And that's not to say that it shouldn't happen, it has to happen. But we have governments through the COP process setting targets for each of their economies on emissions reduction. And many of those targets have been formed by aspiration, by political pressure or response to political pressure. It's going to be this percentage or that percentage by whatever date. And then you have a top-down set of policy measures that come in to try and achieve those outcomes. Many of those measures, which are very well intentioned and done for the best of reasons, are uninformed by physics or economics and have a lot of kind of unintended consequences. It's not just the responsibility of government to set those mechanisms, it's the responsibility of business, I think, to come forward with innovative ways in which governments can meet their targets. It's a shared responsibility, and in a lot of economies, people fall into kind of combative relations in this. And I think that's the wrong approach. So
we've been pioneering the development and implementation of many technologies in the mining industry that maybe it's not the most advanced as the oil industry, but it's also been incorporating technology. And we've been pioneering some of the technologies in terms of, just to give some example, in terms of particle flotation, cross-particle flotation, barcode sorting, filter tailings, and many other technologies, particularly on several key stages of the mining process in combination of flotation and tailings treatments. And that has, in the end, sort of the result of that, of the application of that innovation and technology, is actually producing better business outcomes. That's the ultimate, what we pursue. So to produce plants that are better, to produce better business cases, it's not innovation for innovation's sake, and also to produce plants that actually have better KPIs in terms of ESG targets. So it aligns better with what we want to actually produce and the plans that we want for the future. And it's actually that where we have some examples, both here in Peru. We have some plants that are flagships in terms of some of these concepts. Here we have Constancia, that is a plant that was designed by Osenco and implemented and is in operation. And most recently in Chile we have Mantoverde, that is our most recent plant, copper plant. So I think that gives a few ideas of how we sort of see innovation.
Actually, this year we're turning 150 years. So I think it's kind of important to say that we know a thing or two about innovation if we've been relevant for so long, and we actually have technology centers distributed all around the world. We have centers in the US, in Canada, in Sweden, in Germany, in Singapore, and of course back home in Australia. And it's in these specific centers where today we're developing the technology that's going to be rolled out in 5, 10, 15, even 20 years time. And just to give you a bit of an example of the different innovations that have gone through this process, we have one that we're really proud of that's called Orica Digital Solutions. And what that specifically does is each of these solutions are designed to seamlessly connect the digital and the physical worlds to make sure that we optimize our customers' results in every single link of the value chain. And when I'm talking about value chain, I'm talking about everything from exploration all the way through to ore processing. So right now, we're not only focusing on what you might have considered our core over the last 150 years, so we're making sure that we have solutions in every single link of that value chain, and that they not only exist, but that they speak to each other.
Tom, at BHP, we aim to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. We have a midterm objective to reduce by at least 80% of our emissions by 2030 compared with what our emissions in 2020. And to give you some specific examples of what we're doing, I'm going to talk about the operations that we have in Chile, Escondida and Spence. Two examples. One is on energy. In 2017, Chile opened it up for renewable energy. And BHP by then decided to sign agreements for 100% renewable energy for both operations. That kind of decisions are not always easy, as you can imagine, because we had to terminate earlier some of our, coal energy contracts, and that was hundreds of millions payment. But it was the right decision. I mean, with that, we reduced 70% of our green gas emissions in the operations. And by the way, we reduced the cost of our energy by around 20%. So, and another example is on water, right? And probably in Escondida, I think a long time ago we said, okay, we need to use this salt water, right? We're in Antofagasta, we need to use this salt water. And it was a lot of investment. It's around $4 billion invested in Escondida, but with that work and effort, since 2019, we're not using not even a drop of fresh water to run probably the biggest copper mine in the world. So
we maintain an ambitious trend as a company of reducing scope 1 and 2 emissions, as we since 2019 is different in 2020, I think. The cumulative reduction in that period is now 23%, but our goal is a cumulative reduction of 42% by 2030 and net zero 2050. Really ambitious, I think. One of we have 2 or 3 main initiatives relative to emission reductions. One of them is we are lighting the roundabouts in our highway with solar panels. The light is with solar panels. It's a really good initiative, and with a good approach with the communities. Other initiatives fulfilling what we're committing to emission reduction is the implementation of a fleet of electrical operational vehicles. Today, we can probably say that all of the vehicles in our operation are electrical vehicles 100%.
Some of the things that I hear our clients say, members, is that through strategic partnerships, industry leaders can innovate and drive positive change for both the business and sustainability agenda. They focus on 3 things mainly, that's what we see from our perspective, and they focus on people, technology and processes. But at the heart of the change are people. At the end of the day, we talk about AI, how important it is, but that change is going to be driven by people. The report that came out, some of you might have seen it, but from ABB this year, about the whole sustainability and how it's all going to work. And one highlight that came out was they say that 53% of mine operators anticipate a significant or complete transformation of their mining operations in the next 5 years plus. Now, I'd like to pause there for a second. That's where there's a lot of opportunity for very smart people and companies and innovative companies and technological companies to be able to fit that gap. So these are the mining guys saying, we're going to be shifting over. And that's only in 5 years. I know we talk about the 2050 targets and so forth, but that's a smaller window. So a great opportunity there for the Mets in particular. Mining companies must be seen to be working hard to mitigate any social and environmental upset. Obvious. If not, the NGOs will be holding them accountable.